Hello everyone, welcome to another exciting episode of Dayspring Discussions. I'm your host, Sean McGahee, and this is a show we talk about movies, TV, sci-fi, fantasy, comic books. If you geek out about it, we're going to talk about it. You can listen to Dayspring Discussions on iTunes, YouTube, Podomatic, and Patreon, guys. And you can contact Dayspring Discussions on our Facebook group, Twitter account, and dayspringdiscussions@gmail.com. Well, happy Wednesday, guys. It is a sunny Wednesday afternoon here in Austin, Texas. Still a little chilly outside, but nonetheless, the sun is shining, bringing us a little bit of a hope. And of course, it is Wednesday, which means it's New Comics Day. I'm going to sit down here in a little bit with a nice cup of coffee and read through today's comics. So you can be sure that I will get my reviews of this week's picks to you, if not tomorrow, then Friday. I have a little different schedule tomorrow, so I might not get to do a podcast, but if not, I'm going to do one on Friday, so I'll make sure I get my 3 podcasts in a week, so be sure to stay tuned for that. As for the news for today, guys, I'm going to start off with a little bit of Star Wars news, move into a few other things if I have time for. We'll see what we can fit in. So, let's get right to it, guys. John Williams, that's right, the godfather of music composition in movies, is set to score Episode 9 for Star Wars, completing this new trilogy for Lucasfilm and Disney. The director, J.J. Abrams, already went to Williams and asked him to do it, and of course, he obliged, saying, quote, "I would very much like to complete that." So, John Williams is not only scoring Episode 9, he's also going to be writing the theme for Ron Howard's upcoming Solo, a Star Wars story movie. Someone else is doing the score for that film, but Williams is going to do the theme for it, and now he's going to score Episode 9, completing not only this trilogy, but the 9-episode saga that he started back in 1977 with George Lucas and A New Hope. And I gotta say, of course, that's all I really gotta say about it, guys, is the only way you don't get John Williams to score any movie is if he says no. I mean, literally, if I was shooting a porn movie, I would go to John Williams and be like, "Will you score my movie?" And he would say no. That's the only way you don't go to John Williams first. Then you go to Danny Elfman. Then you go to John Ottoman. Then you go to Michael Giacchino. And so down the line until somebody says yes. But in any event, we knew this was going to happen unless he really wasn't feeling up to it. Looks like he was, and I could not be more excited about it. I'm still waiting to get The Last Jedi score and listen to it over and over again and add it to my collection of Star Wars playlist on my iTunes account. But why wouldn't you? John Williams, this is just great. Of course, he's going to complete the episodes. Whether they continue the episodes from then on, I don't know. But we knew it was going to happen. And I think I can say for all of us, awesome. Glad he's going to finish this one out. In other Star Wars news, Lucasfilm and Disney has released an official synopsis for their upcoming spin-off film, Solo, a Star Wars story. The synopsis is as follows, quote, "Board the Millennium Falcon and journey to a galaxy far, far away in Solo, a Star Wars story. An all-new adventure with the most beloved scoundrel in the galaxy. Through a series of daring escapades deep into the dark and dangerous criminal underworld, Han Solo meets his mighty future co-pilot Chewbacca and encounters the notorious gambler Lando Calrissian in a journey that will set the course of one of the Star Wars saga's most unlikely heroes." Now, we are 4 months away from this movie actually coming out in theaters. People have been clamoring for a trailer. Aside from those photos that Ron Howard put on Instagram while he was filming the movie, we have yet to see anything from this. Most big blockbusters, 6 months out, I think is a good time to release your first teaser trailer. We haven't got that from Solo. Well, from what we've learned, a lot of the film was reshot after Phil Lord and Chris Miller were let go or walked away from the movie. A lot of Star Wars fans weren't really clamoring for a standalone Han Solo prequel film either. This film has a lot going against it. And what we want to see is something that is going to excite us. We want to see a trailer. 4 months out, we have yet to see a trailer. This is a film that all we know about is problems. We need to see something positive, and we need something to get the core fan base excited, and they have yet to do that. Because if your core fan base isn't excited, they're not going to go out and tell everyone else about it and get everyone else excited to go see it. You need to get us on board, and holding the trailer back and giving us a synopsis like this, I'm going to go ahead and say it. This is a bullcrap synopsis, okay? These are things we knew we were going to get in the movie. Instead of a synopsis, you could have told all this through a trailer. We knew we were going to see him meet Chewie. We knew we were going to see him with Lando. We knew it was going to be the Millennium Falcon. All this stuff we already knew. Why are you giving us this synopsis? Give us a trailer. This does nothing. All this does is say, hey, we're not ready for a trailer yet. Maybe you're holding it out for the Super Bowl. That's fine, Lucasfilm. If you're holding it out for the Super Bowl, okay. But the longer you wait, the more I feel like it's going to hurt the movie. You need to start marketing this film now with pictures. Definitely throw some pictures online. Something. Because all we have is negative stuff from this film. And you have to start spreading the positive. 4 months out. If you wait till Super Bowl, you're going to be 3 months out, and you're really going to have to do a big marketing push to get people excited to make this film worth it. I'm not saying this film has to be as big as, say, The Last Jedi or The Force Awakens, but given how much money Disney and Lucasfilm has spent on reshoots, it has to make some kind of profit and do something decent in order to make its money back. That's my train of thought. The synopsis, whatever. I'm not really excited for the film. Again, I'm one of those people, I wasn't asking for a Han Solo film. I'm still going to go see it because it is Star Wars. All I'm saying is, this synopsis is something we already knew we were going to get. And really, it's like kicking the trailer can down the road. Be like, oh, here you go. Here's a little tidbit. Feast on that. We're not ready for the trailer yet. And all you're giving us is scraps. All you're giving us is little crumbs, okay? That's not going to cut it, guys, okay? You need to give us something. Pictures, whatever, not this bullcrap synopsis. They're trying to put band-aids on bullet wounds with this film, and you just got to give it to us straight, okay? Either you're ready for this film to come out in May, or you need to kick it back to December. I personally think they should kick it back to December, but that's just me. Give you more time to work on it, especially since we haven't seen a trailer, which means they're holding it for the Super Bowl, which is a bad idea too, because you put that trailer in the middle of all those other trailers, it's going to get lost. You need to make a splash. You need to do a Monday Night Football thing like you did with The Last Jedi and with The Force Awakens. You need to make a splash. It's Star Wars. You can't group it in with everything else and expect for it to be something. You need to make this film to make money, to regain all the losses for reshoots and problems that you had early on in production. And to do that, Lucasfilm has to start marketing this film. The synopsis is not good enough. It's everything we knew we were going to get. Give us a trailer. If you're not ready to give us a trailer because the film is not ready, move the movie back, okay? Please do what's best for the movie. We already saw what happened last year from another studio that put a film that was not ready to be put out, and we saw how bad that went. I don't want that to be Han Solo, despite my feelings about wanting to see the film. I don't want it to be a Star Wars film like that. So do what's best for the movie. Start saying you're ready for this movie to come out, or push it back. And don't give us these breadcrumbs. Stepping off of Star Wars, and speaking of Warner Brothers has announced that they have found new directors for their upcoming Flashpoint film. So early on, this was supposed to be the Flash standalone film. The more it developed, it looks like it was going to be based off the Flashpoint miniseries that came out, written by Jeff Johns and drawn by Andy Kubert. Now, in that storyline, Barry Allen travels back in time to save his mother from dying. And in doing so, he rewrites history to where he's no longer the Flash, Bruce Wayne is dead, and his father Thomas Wayne's Batman, Aquaman and Wonder Woman are at war with each other, and they're destroying the world. All these bad things are happening just because Barry went back to save his mother. Well, it looks like that's the basis of what we're going to get with the Flash standalone movie. And it's going to be directed by John Francis DeLay and Jonathan Goldstein. If John Francis DeLay sounds familiar, it's because he's actually an actor and has been in such films as Waiting and the show Freaks and Geeks, and on Bones. Sweets. That was his name on Bones. I know that because I watched the show for a little while and he was on it for quite some time. So, in any event, they also directed the Vacation film that came out a few years ago, and they've also written Spider-Man Homecoming. So, Warner Brothers has tapped them to direct this film, according to the Hollywood Reporter, after Rick Famuyiwa, who directed Dope. I know I mispronounced his last name. If you're new to the show, get used to it. I mispronounce a lot of names. And then, of course, before that, there was Seth Grahame-Smith, who was set to direct. So now this film is on its third director. Seems to be a trend nowadays in Hollywood, about 3 directors or more. I don't know how I feel about this because of what's going on with the DC EU. I think they need to get their stuff in line first before they start announcing more films. Now, Flashpoint, of course, is a time travel story. And it's really cool because you can use that to kind of set things straight. Kind of like how Star Trek did it. Kind of like how X-Men did it with Days of Future Past. You can erase the mistakes of the past to forge a new future. It could be a reboot/sequel all in one. That's what this film can be. However, you have to have a singular vision. Not only in this film, but in the DC Cinematic Universe. Whether they've got that going has yet to be seen. They recently announced a new head of the DC Film Division. We don't have any idea what vision this new person has. I forget his name, but we don't know what they want to do with it. What's the end goal? I mean, with Marvel Studios, you knew from that first Avengers film, it was leading to Thanos and the Infinity Gauntlet. You knew that for the last 6 years. That was the end game. We don't know what the end game is with the DC Cinematic Universe. And this new person who's running the film division needs to set that up from the very first film he's in charge of. Flashpoint getting new directors, that's fine. While I don't think these guys are uber talented, I think they're okay. I think they did a fine job writing Spider-Man. I liked the Vacation movie. I thought it was pretty decent. It wasn't great. No, it wasn't great, but it was well enough to where I enjoyed it. What they're going to do with this, I don't know. To me, it's all about how close can they stay to the original source material, because the Flashpoint comic was one of my favorites. I loved it. It was great. If you can say something so true to that and the feeling of that, I think you're doing fine. But one thing that I ask above all else is, for God's sakes, please do a better job than the Flash TV show. You know I like the Flash TV show, guys. I watch it. I'm going to watch the newest episode tonight, and also that and Black Lightning, so be sure to stay tuned for my thoughts on that. But that last season of The Flash was bad, and the way they treated Flashpoint was bad, and I just want them to do a better job than what the TV show did. And I think they could do that. I think Ezra Miller is a good enough character and definitely a good enough actor to carry that kind of emotional baggage in the film that it takes place in. I'm very interested to see, of course, they're going to bring back Jeffrey Dean Morgan as Thomas Wayne. Could they use this as a springboard to get Ben Affleck out as Batman? There's lots of things you can do with this film to help correct the problems in the DC Cinematic Universe. Whether they will use this film as that springboard, I don't know. Whether these two guys are good enough directors to do that, I don't know. It's all one big question mark when it comes to DC films nowadays, guys. Now, these two guys, I'm willing to give a chance. You know, I mean, you had the Russo brothers having directed comedy TV before they did Winter Soldier, and we are all like, what? But they pulled it off. Not only that, they knocked it out of the park, and we got Winter Soldier and Civil War, and now they're doing Infinity War. Whether these two guys will have that same impact, I hope so. Do I believe that after everything I've seen in Warner Brothers' handling of the DC Cinematic Universe? Not really. But I'm going to hold on hope, guys, because that's what we do. We got to hope for the best and prepare for the worst. Okay, last thing on the agenda today, guys. We have got our first full trailer for Netflix's upcoming series, Altered Carbon. The trailer establishes the mind-bending task set before Joel Kinnaman's character Tashi Kovacs. The trailer sees Tashi's consciousness transferred into a new body after he's been dead for 250 years. Takashi's new body is a combat model built for the daunting task of solving an aristocrat's murder, a task assigned to him by the aristocrat himself. In the future, anyone with resources to beat death can do so simply by having their conscience transferred into a new body indefinitely. Now, the first season of this is going to come out February 2nd on Netflix. I checked it out, and when I posted the trailer on the Facebook group, I said it really looks like a twist between Blade Runner and iRobot, because I felt like the actual mystery, the future mystery of it, was more iRobot with Will Smith, but it definitely had that dark, lived-in, gross future that Blade Runner had. In any event, I think it looks exciting. It's based off the adaptation of Richard K. Morgan's cyberpunk novel. I haven't checked that out. I have no idea what the original source material is, but I did just watch the RoboCop reboot that came out several years ago, starring Joel Kinnaman. Kinnaman, of course, played in Suicide Squad, which I'm not a fan of that film, but him in RoboCop was good. I like the RoboCop reboot. If you didn't like it, fire back on the social media group or on Gmail. Let me know what you have an issue with, because honestly, I thought it added depth to the original RoboCop storyline. But in any event, I'm getting off topic here. I thought Kinnaman was a good enough actor to pull this off. I can see it from the trailer. I love a good sci-fi story, so with this, I'm excited for it. If you haven't checked out the trailer for Altered Carbon, go find it on YouTube. Fire back and let me know what you think, guys. That's it. That's it for me today, guys. Like I said, I'm going to try to get a podcast up tomorrow. If not, I'll definitely do one on Friday, and I will have my comic book picks for the week on the next episode. Now it's time for you guys to fire back. Let me know, did I really go on too big of a rant on Solo, a Star Wars story? Do you think I was too hard on it? Are you excited for the film? Do you think the film's going to be good? Let me know all the mixed bag of feelings you have on that film. Also, what do you think about the new directors for Flashpoint and the status of the DC Cinematic Universe? And finally, Altered Carbon. Does the series look interesting? And let me know, are you planning on checking it out? The Facebook group, Twitter account, dayspringdiscussions@gmail.com. That's where you can fire back, guys. Let me know what you think. You can find me personally, Slim Dayspring 12, on Instagram and Twitter. And that's it. I'm done for today, guys. I will see you next time. Until then, may the Force be with us all.